Hey, welcome back to another edition of Under Further Review. In these segments, I'll be giving you a quick look at each team going into the 2013 season. I'll be talking about last season, talking about the offseason, talking about my favorite picks of the 2013 draft, player positions, and can they make the playoffs? Today on the board, we have the Washington Redskins from the NFC East Division, who are the division champs from last year. So, let's look what happened last year. They went 10-7 and were division champs, obviously, for the first time since 1999. They made the playoffs, but lost in the first round with an injured Robert Griffin III. An unknown Alfred Morris, though, records 1,613 rushing yards, the third ever most by a rookie running back, helping the Redskins rank number 1 in rushing. Mike Shanahan saves his job also, and on the defense they finished at 28th, and a miserable pass defense that finished 30th. The offseason. Well, for me, the Redskins were the most exciting team to be watching in the NFC East last year. RG3 was absolutely great, and was even greater was watching Alfred Morrison, just coming out of nowhere, who's just a tough, grinding running back. That's really fun to watch for me. But the biggest question I think going into the season this year is, will RGB3 ready to start the season? And how much will his playing style change? Watching that knee injury last year just made me cringe. I didn't like seeing him go down with that type of injury. Anybody getting injured like that is no fun to watch. So he's just gonna learn how to maybe run safer when he's running out of the pocket, or just go down when it's necessary, because the Redskins need this playmaker. If he gets hurt, I don't like the chances at all, competing as division champions at least, or as a playoff team. So the Redskins, importantly, though they didn't lose any starters in this free agency this year and bring back a lot of starters, they need RG3s. So that's about it. I mean, they have more positives than they do negatives going into the season, and I'm interested to see what they can do for the 2013 season. My favorite picks from the draft. Well, the Redskins obviously came in with no first-round pick due to the deal that would bring RG3 to Washington. I looked into cornerback David Amerson from NC State, who was drafted in the second round. Though this was a desperate need, I think he could have gone later in the draft, because it seemed like his game digressed last year for NC State. So I did like third-round pick Jordan Reed, a tight end from Florida, who seems to be a jack-of-all-trades type of player. I love smart football players, so this guy is one of them. I expect him to have some huge impact, along with Fred Davis and Logan Paulson. Positions. Quarterback. Well, we don't know if Offensive Rookie of the Year RG3 will be ready by week 1, but we do know that Kirk Cousins is backing him up and can win some games if RG3 goes out or doesn't start the season. He does look promising, and if he gets the opportunity to play, he can win some games again this year. He could possibly land somewhere else, competing for a starting job eventually if he keeps winning some games. So there's also Pat White from Miami, and Rex Grossman, who's just you. Just get rid of him, please. Running back. Wham, bam, thank you, Alfred Morrison. The Florida Atlantic back that ran for 1,613 yards and 13 touchdowns with an average of 4.8 yards a carry. Whoa, not bad for a 6th-rounder last year. And, well, he got those numbers because of Tim Hightower and Roy Hilo and Evan Royster going down with injuries before the season even started. I mean, I don't really see any of this changing with Alfred Morrison at running back. I think the Redskins have found a nice gem at running back for at least the next 3 years. Backups will consist, obviously, of Royster, Hilo, and maybe another hidden gem. Wide receiver. When I look at this crop of receivers, the load work seemed to be almost distributed equally between Josh Morgan, Pierre Garcion, and Santana Moss and Leonard Hankerson. I guess the go-to guy was Santana Moss, who brought a team-high 8 touchdowns, which was pretty good. Good thing is, though, these receivers can catch the ball, and anyone RG3 throws to can be relied upon. I'm picking receiver Pierre Garçon this year to have big numbers this year and also stay healthy. He only played, unfortunately, 7 games last year due to injuries. Offensive line. This zone blocking line had a fantastic year in 2012 and will have another great year to add on to this. Redskins seem to have found a solid unit in guards: Chris Chester, Corey Lichtensteiger, tackles Tyler Columbus, and Trent Williams, and center Will Montgomery. Let's hope no one gets hurt. Defensive linemen. Jarvis Jenkins stepped in for left end Adam Carricker tore his quad in week 2. These two guys will be battling for a starting job come training camp, for sure. Stephen Bowen was quiet last year, but should have a better year. And nose tackle Barry Cofield is the best lineman and anchor on this line. Backup competition for this will be fierce. Linebackers. When I think of a linebacker from the Redskins, it's of course 16-year-old pro London Fletcher, who has led the team in tackles again and in interceptions, surprisingly. He is the workhorse of this corps, and I hope he never retires, even though this might be his last year. The man's a monster. His supporting cast is Perry Riley, who has been a solid since being drafted, Ryan Kerrigan, and getting back a healthy Brian Orakpo. With a decent line and above-average linebacking corps, how does the Redskins rank 28th in defense? Secondary. The blame all points to the secondary. First, D'Angelo Hall looked to be inconsistent all last year. I could say that same thing for Josh Wilson also. But they went and signed E.J. Biggers to get some better quarterback play, along with second-round pick David Amerson. Then on safeties, there's also problems with Brandon Merriweather, needing him to stay healthy, and free safety position is up for grabs this year between Tenard Jackson and draft picks Philip Thomas and Bakari Ramabo. Sorry about that. This secondary unit needs to step up in order to help this defense. Otherwise, expect teams to be throwing all over the Redskins again. This is a need they need to fix this year. Special teams. Kai Forbath, former UCLA Bruin, comes as one of the best kickers in the NFL. After taking over the starting job in Week 5, he was 17 of 18 in field goals. Sav Roca will be punting and be healthier this year. And punt and kick returner, we don't know yet. We'll find out. Can they make the playoffs? I'm going to say no. And here's why. Though I think they could either place second or even win the division again, I don't think there will be wild cards for this division, and I have the Cowboys winning this division. So, that's kind of it. I mean, also, I don't like the fact that RG3 is hurt with a knee injury that could potentially change the way he plays, the way he played last year. So, I think the secondary also improves this year, but not enough to become dangerous. So, honestly, I just think this should just end on the fact that RG3 has problems with his knees again sometime this year. So, I'm just being very cautious here. I'm safely picking the Redskins to come in second because of the problems with RG3. I do believe, though, Kirk Cousins can win some games, but the Redskins need their best playmaker on the field with Alfred Morrison. So, also teams that tend to make the jumps like the Redskins do tend to be flukes. So, I mean, you remember the Bucks from 2010 with Josh Freeman. You know, what happened? They've been not so currently winning games. So hopefully this team isn't a fluke, and I expect another competitive Redskin team for the 2013 season. And with that, my football fans, concludes my segment of the Washington Redskins. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave any comments and subscribe to my page. Next videos, I'll be looking towards the NFC North with the Bears, Lions, Packers, and Vikings. See you later, folks.